Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. All right. Hi, everyone. I trust this podcast finds you in good health and secure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. Wanted to talk about a term or terms that we run into a lot. And you'll see the westernization here very obviously. Many of us Buddhists, especially Nichiren Buddhists, or Nichiren doctrine of Shakyamuni's Lotus Sutra Buddhism, more properly said, run into this term ego peak. Ego peak, ego peak. Ego, very American, but also somewhat Western. We in the West have kind of a negative connotation for the bird. This actual mountain is actually named because of its shape, the rock shapes. It's actually Vulture Peak, which is also a huge, majestic bird. We don't particularly like the way their heads look, or the fact that they eat carrion, but they eat flesh. Eagles eat flesh, right? Anyway, so why don't we go ahead under Eagle Peak? I think the reference I make in the soon-to-come Buddhism Reference Volume 2 is to see Vulture Peak. So that's all I have written under Eagle Peak. If we look at Vulture Peak, we find that we run into this name a lot, especially in this BDK translation of the Lotus Sutra, especially because of all the translations. I'm running into it more here, in its Sanskrit form, or in Pali. In Pali, it's Jihakuta. In Sanskrit, Grada or Gradha Kuta, also known as Holy Eagle Peak, or Gridra Kuta, or Gadra Kuta. It was the Buddhist, or was Shakyamuni's favorite retreat in Rajagaha, now Rajgir, or Rajgri. It was the scene for many of his discourses. Rajgir is located near Bihar in India. It is so named because it resembles a sitting vulture with its wings folded. Okay? So we've run into all of those words at some point in our study in the sutras and in commentaries, but they all refer to this central place where Shakyamuni often gave his teaching sermons, right? In Buddhist literature, Vulture Peak Mountain, or Vulture Mountain, is by tradition one of several sites frequented by the Buddha and his community of disciples for both training and retreat. Its location is frequently mentioned in Buddhist texts, in the Pali Canon of the Theravada Buddhism, and in Mahayana Sutras as the place where the Buddha gave certain sermons. Among the sermons are the Heart Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, thus we hear a lot about that mountain, and the Surangama Samadhi Sutra, as well as many Prajnaparamita Sutras, right? The Perfection of Wisdom Sutras. We've talked about all of those on this channel. You can look them up on the homepage of this channel. There's that little magnifying glass in the middle of the page next to the About section, where you can search keywords and so forth and come up with a result set of videos, podcasts about those subjects from different perspectives. It is explicitly mentioned in the Lotus Sutra, chapter 16, as the Buddha's pure land. Not because it is the pure land, but because with the sermon and our practice and our envisioning through our Gohonzon mind of the opening of the Buddha eye in our mind, we can experience wherever we are, in any moment, the pure clarity of experience. Yeah. Just like the Medicine King. Why is he called the Medicine King, by the way? I just wanted to mention that real quick. Right? How many references in the Lotus Sutra and other sutras have we read about Myoho Renge Kyo, or the teaching of the Dharma, being the good medicine, right? It's the story of the good physician, the story of the father who's a physician with the children, on and on, right? And the medicine is the teaching of the Dharma. And we also have heard many times how Shakyamuni has shared his insights through the ray of light emitted from a tuft of hair between his eyebrows, or from his top knot in all 10 directions, right? This allusion to light is very familiar. And in the Medicine King story, he alights himself completely. That's because he's exuding from every pore the teaching of the Dharma. This is the quintessential bodhisattva effort, yeah? And I've said many times, as we chant and we inculcate into our norm, our Buddha-ness, we radiate, right, into our environment. So what is light, after all? It's energy. That's it. That energy radiates, yes? So the Medicine King is a bodhisattva who exudes from every pore, radiates from every pore, the teaching of the Dharma, the enlightenment teaching. So of course he's king. He's the king of the medicine. He's the foremost distribution of the teaching of the Dharma, the medicine. That's what that means. Doesn't mean he catches himself on fire. It means his commitment is with every pore of his body. So please understand, right? All right, chapter 16, the multitudes see me as passing into quiescence. They extensively make offerings to my sharira. All cherish ardent longing for me. He's talking about Buddha-ness. And their hearts look up to me in thirst. Living beings, then, faithful and subdued, straightforward with compliant minds, single-mindedly wish to see the Buddha. There's that exhortation again. Caring not for their very lives, in other words, the pleasures of the 5 skandhas. At that time, I and the Sangha assembly, you and I, all appear together on magic Vulture Mountain. Well, it's not magic. That's a translation problem. But again, we appear in our dedication to opening our Buddha eye as the disciples are told in story form, assembling with Shakyamuni to hear the teachings of the Dharma, the good medicine. Where I say to living beings that I am always here and never cease to be. See, that's that play of I, but not me, Shakyamuni, the enlightenment that I'm teaching, the Dharma, the Buddha-ness, is always here and never ceases to be, right? That's from chapter 16, the chapter on the lifespan of the Tathagata. That's the very big drop the mic aha moment of the Lotus Sutra that Nichiren refers to constantly, yeah? All right, so that's Vulture Peak, or Eagle Peak if you prefer. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. Like and subscribe. It's very important. It takes a few seconds, doesn't cost anything, and it helps propagate this resource and the teachings, yeah? So that's a Bodhisattva act. Any other way you can support, buying ebooks, threefoldlotus.com. All the links are in the description. Please avail yourself to those things. Patrons, you guys are awesome, as always. Thank you. Take care of your health. Please do that. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye for now.